Kids start developing empathy as early as the first 3 years of life, an important process for the evolution of cognition, emotions, and compassion. Well, joining us is an expert in this field. She's an international best-selling author, speaker, and teen mental health advocate. Let's welcome Taanvi Arekapudi. Very glad to meet you.
Thank you so much for having me here today. Happy to be here.
So August marks National Civility Month, and maybe you could share a little bit more about what that means and the work that you're hoping to accomplish before the end of the month.
Definitely, yeah. So by having this Civility Month, it's really a great opportunity to kind of reflect about ourselves, like how are we being kind, empathetical, and with all the different factors like social media and after COVID, it's harder to show empathy, and that's a fact, and it's okay if you're not perfect, but kind of thinking about how you're doing so far, and then by kind of listening to the 4 strategies I have to share soon, it can help you to re-spark that and reignite that empathy that you have inside of you so you can continue helping others. And that's my goal this month, to help others ignite that spark in them.
Why have you made it a mission to bring empathy back to a discussion with your peers?
Definitely, yeah. So actually I was hearing a lot about, especially in my elementary school when I was there, people saying like walk in someone else's shoes and feel what they're feeling around empathy. And when I was thinking about that recently and how I'm doing with like empathy, I was like, that's been really hard for me because I'm not able to take my shoes off and feel what the other person is feeling, because whatever experience happens to them, and if I feel that, all the thoughts, experiences, feelings, all the things that happen in my head because of that event will be so different to that person. And so for me, I was like, I really want to share this message with others that it's really best to show empathy by being in your shoes and being the best pillar of support to help others rather than taking off your shoes. And so that's really what I'm passionate to share about with others today.
What are the 4 steps to becoming more empathetic?
Yeah, so the 4 steps include the first one of being acknowledge and validate their feelings, don't compare. Let's say someone shares something that happened to them. Rather than jumping to like, hey, I know when I felt like that, just try to say, hey, it's okay that you're feeling like this. I acknowledge it and I'm here for you. That's so important to just start out that conversation, leading to the second step of now that you acknowledge it and they continue sharing whatever they're going through. So important to listen, not hear. I know in school they teach us a lot, like listen means looking at their body language, showing that you care, making eye contact, asking follow-up questions, really showing that you care and you're giving your fullest attention to that person because they're the most important thing to you right now.
Yeah.
So we got the 2 steps, and then the third one, it's so important to offer a new perspective because we can never feel what they're feeling. Just try to ask questions, show that you're really interested to learn more about what happened and that you don't know what happened because you didn't feel it like they did. And then of course the 4th one is to take care of yourself. I like to think of us all as different phones. And let's say we're recharging other people by showing empathy. It can really take our own battery down, and it's important to keep us charged by doing things that we enjoy so we can continue recharging others and helping others by being our best selves. So do things that make you happy and really prioritize that time for yourself so you can continue to help others.
Yeah, and I think that last point is very important because some people identify themselves as empaths, that they almost lament about it because it is so truly exhausting that they're always trying to be there for others, which is wonderful for those who are needing that sounding board and shoulder to cry on in some cases, but you really do need to think about yourself and your own well-being. Tell me, Taanvi, what is the difference between sympathy and empathy?
Great question. That's something that people ask a lot. And so kind of to talk about empathy, it's acknowledging what they're going through and trying to help them through whatever situation it is. And what I like to think about sympathy is it's really good in some situations where you're showing that pity, that sorrow, your condolences, like, I'm so sorry. But it also surface level acknowledges that what they're going through is okay to go through. So both of them have their own benefits and cons, but kind of important to talk about empathy a lot more so we can help people through their situations by being ourselves.
And with the new school year just getting underway, what advice do you have for kids that maybe they can just pack along with their lunch every morning and to implement during the day when they're at school?
Yeah, I think that's a really good question. I actually start at school next week, and I've been thinking about this for myself as well. And the best thing that I thought of is whenever I go to school, I feel anxious, like maybe I'm not worth it, and all these negative stuff come through. I don't feel like I'm in control of my body. And so I like to do this belly breathing technique. It's really, as you inhale, you expand your belly like a balloon, and you exhale and you deflate it like a balloon. And it scientifically works by calming your nervous system down. And it uses your diaphragm, which is so important for breathing, which oftentimes we don't concentrate on. So
Oh.
by doing this, practicing it maybe in the night if you're feeling nervous for the school day, during lunch, if you're trying to find your friends and you don't find them in the cafeteria right away, anytime you feel these anxious emotions, try the belly breathing technique because it's the most discreet technique as well.
I certainly will try that before coming to work. Taanvi, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate your time. You're wise beyond your years. Glad to have you with us.
Thank you for having me. It was great talking with you.
We'll be back after this.